We're finally here. We are Team Against All Odds, and we are here today to present to you our game, Boiling Point. My name is Sean Hathaway, and I am one of the internal producers on this team. And I want to say that I'm very proud of each and every one of these guys. They've worked hard for the last 5 months. It has been a long, tedious journey, and around every corner there was havoc, which you'll learn more about during this presentation. But who is Team Against All Odds? Well, let me introduce you. Starting from the audience's left and going to the right, the co-IP of the team, Darren Hill, our two artists, John Chafee, Anthony Chester, and we have our programmers, Louis Ross, Michael Legato, Rashad Lane, Michael Valdez, Chris Byrne, and Jason Hall. Thank you. Now, what is Boiling Point? Well, here to tell you about Boiling Point, I'm going to bring up Michael Legato.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Legato. I'm the QA and design lead for Boiling Point. What is Boiling Point? Let's see. Boiling Point is a third-person mech shooter game in which you will be battling as a steam mech, the player, against the encroaching cyber-mech forces to protect Steamtopia, your lasting only city. You'll be achieving this by mech-to-mech combat, which is you, the steam mech, will be battling these cyber-mechs using long-range weaponry. I said it, thank God. Cool. But to help you achieve this, you have multiple weapon types, such as our ballistics autocannon, our missiles, which are missile launchers, will come in volley and single fire, and we have our engine weapon, our Tesla cannon, which helps you achieve destruction. Now, what you see behind me is a 2-story building in one piece, but shoot a missile at it, it gets blown to pieces. It's wonderful. So, to tell you more about how this technology came to be is Rashad Lane.
I'm Rashad Lane. I was one of the people who worked with the Havoc Physics API. Havoc is the most popular physics engine used in games today. It's been used in a lot of big titles such as Halo 3, Assassin's Creed, and oddly enough, every Guitar Hero since 3. Yeah. What you see around our player mech right there, the little green goo-looking capsule, that's a physics body that represents how the player interacts with other physics objects in the world. What you see right here, this is how our game looks. It's pretty exciting. It's how it looks at Havoc anyway. This is all taking place inside of the simulation. We're doing a lot of really exciting things, including using little capsules on the feet so that when the mech moves around, when those capsules collide with the ground, we know that we should play sounds. We know that we should have little clouds of smoke come up. A lot of people came up to us during the course of our making this game and said, wow, you're using Havoc in a student project. That's ambitious. The fact that a lot of these people were actually industry professionals, it gave us a little bit of pause, but I think you'll be very pleased with what we've come together with today. Our game looks amazing. The combination of the physics in conjunction with the art done by our art team, I really can't wait for you to see. So to talk to you more about the fantastic look of the game is Mr. Anthony Chester.
Hi, I'm Anthony Chester, and I'm here today to talk to you about the art in our game. As you just saw, that was the third floor building in our game being destructed in our simulation. But what I'm here to talk about is the style of our game. We went for a steampunk style, which basically is a bunch of pipes, metal, and gears all cobbled together to give everything in our game a more handmade, put-together look. We use this theme in our player character there and in our environment to make them feel like they belong. We then switch the theme for the enemies so that when you see them in contrast with the environment, you can easily tell that they do not belong in this world and that you're going to want to remove them and make them non-exist. Since we used Havoc in our game, we had to add in a lot of extra attributes and extra settings to all of our models in the game so that Havoc could recognize all of our buildings, all of our streets and whatnot in the physics simulation. This is one building with one page of the attributes. The little RB icon there is our rigid body that we assigned to that building. That's our city with all of the extra little attributes that we had to assign per building throughout our world. We had to flush it out with extra stuff, make the city feel more complete. And this doesn't even show you with that destructible building. Each little brick needed its own attributes and own settings so that the physics simulation could properly use it. We had to run everything through the Havoc filter manager to get our content from Maya to the programmers and into our game. This tool at first was quite daunting because there's pages and pages of different settings and different things that we had to run through in order to get our content properly through Maya and into the engine. I'm going to be passing it off to Darren, or Lewis, actually, to talk about what we learned in our game.
Thank you, Anthony. I'm Lewis Ross. I'm here to talk about what we learned. So, the first thing we really learned is how we all interacted, and we found that we work better when we are together. Because when we're not together, people put things up on the server and end up breaking the build. And everybody who's working together then immediately turns into the seagulls from Finding Nemo, and they're all like, broken? Broken? The build is broken. I don't understand, I can't keep going, broken. So we found if we work together in the same area, we can go ahead and just turn around and be like, hey, can you put that file up on the server? It's not building currently. So that sped things along. We also learned this very early, that artists can be very meddlesome. As you can see the picture up there, on your right-hand side is the actual picture of, there's a poster up at Full Sail, and on the left would be Jason. Jason was sitting there coding during Future Frag 1. It was the day before the turn-in, and the artists were just sitting there. They didn't really have to do anything, and they walked up to Jason, of course, and said, hey, Jason, look up. Took his picture and photoshopped him in there with an R2-D2 on his head. Which, yeah, they've been doing that the whole time. So we also learned that, you know, that a physics API is a lot different than any other API because it's going to be in all of your systems. So literally it was kind of like someone comes up to you with the keys to a nuclear sub and says, here you go, I'll show you how to turn it on, but you don't know how to make it go forward or submerge or anything. So we really had to hit the books and learn how to get Havoc to work for us. And really the biggest lesson was Crunch was brutal for us. As you can see, MV right after Crunch, he's not doing too good. But you know, we pulled through and we're here now. So we had some hurdles on our way, and to speak about them were Darren Hill, our other IP.
All right, thank you, Lewis. As he mentioned, my name is Darren Hill. I was one of the IPs for Against All Odds. And I'm going to talk to you about what we've overcome. Now, to start things off, I'm going to reinforce the fact that Havoc is a great third-party API. Otherwise, Rashad might hulk out and attack me. This team really enjoys the third-party API. It was a great API, but it had a lot to overcome with it. Havoc comes with its own animation system, which at first we made an attempt to use. However, we decided to make our own, which was a huge hurdle to overcome. Animations are very difficult, but these guys pulled it off. We also had to build our own destruction. Havoc has its own destruction code, and we didn't use that either. We used our own destruction code to work with Havoc, and now we have destructible buildings that run through Havoc, but it runs off of our code. We also had to get our priorities straight. We were getting near the end of the project, and these aren't actual times up here of what it took to do these things. It's just showing that we had to decide if we were going to spend more time cutting up buildings into 200 pieces, adding fire and smoke, or making the game more fun to play. And in the end, we decided we're going to keep our destruction, but we're going to make the game more fun to play. And that's how we overcame it. Now, to actually show you the game and walk you through it, here's Michael Valdez. You guys ready to see a game?